There we are. We're live, everyone. That's who I'm going to be talking to this afternoon, Nick Hudson. And that's a little teaser there of some new music from Nick Hudson. But first, we'll go to this.
I need to get going, Mel. I'll see you later.
And we're back. And look what I've done. Look where I've put us.
Oh wow! Is that the old graveyard?
That's a good, yeah.
Great, because we couldn't actually get us into the graveyard today. I thought it might end up in a Wicker Man style scenario, and not in a
So I thought I'd virtually put us there. We're virtually in a graveyard.
This is excellent. We'll be virtually in everything soon, you know.
I think so.
This digital purgatory.
I believe that we may even have virtual phones.
Absolutely.
I was discussing that with someone yesterday, and they go, "Where do phones go now? Now that we've kind of improved the cameras on them and the battery on them, and we've made those foldable screens now, etc. And you've got apps galore, and you can make music on it."
3D printing apps, I would imagine, and
someone said holograms.
Exactly, 4D projections. That's
I think that could be quite good. It's in the realms of Star Wars, isn't it? Sort of,
or puppets. We need puppets, I think, don't we?
Oh,
that's where phones go next. This is Barry the Badger.
Yeah.
Say hi.
Well, how does that work with a phone then? What
an app? Yeah, it's not a real puppet. It's a puppet app. Yeah.
It's a puppet app.
Yeah.
Anyway. Perhaps we could just have versions of ourselves to do our work for us.
Oh, that would be nice. Then we still get all recompense for the labour that our virtual selves are doing.
Yeah.
Please, can we engineer that now? I'm tired.
Because we both started just before we came on. We just went, "Oh, it's been such a long day." You said you've been grant writing.
Yeah. No amount of coffee in the world, right?
No, exactly that. And I've been busy writing copy all day long and whatever. And you just, do you know what? That'd be great, wouldn't it? If you could just, right, he's going to take care of that.
Isn't that what capitalism is? I think that's what capitalism is, isn't it? Delegation. To virtual versions of yourself. And you.
If you can afford it, maybe Elon isn't actually Elon.
What's that?
Maybe Elon isn't actually Elon.
No, maybe he's Barry the Badger. Maybe.
Oh dear. Barry's great at designing cars, by the way. Not quite so good with space rockets, but cars he's quite good.
No, exactly. Yeah. Space cars. Yeah.
So what have you been up to, sir, since I last spoke to you?
So we spoke on the day of the digital release of Fond of Human Fractures, didn't we?
Yes.
In a graveyard.
Which
is now rendered monochromatically behind us both. I love it. So now the vinyl is out. The vinyl finally shipped. I believe there was a big COVID outbreak at the Czech pressing plant, which is partially why everything was delayed. And also because Nick Cave couldn't stop issuing special edition releases of his records. So there was this huge queue. But yeah, they finally arrived and they look gorgeous. And
was it all Nick Cave's fault? Seriously,
it's a combination of Nick Cave and COVID. So yeah,
right. The two C's.
Nick COVID, yeah. So yeah, they're out. They look beautiful. Really, really happy with them.
Great.
It's deeply sating to actually have the physical release. Held in my hands. My tiny studio flat now looks like a sort of stock room. I can barely move in it even more than I can barely move anyway. But now I have to sort of sidle around like some sort of remember the 80s TV show Nightmare? It's like Enter Stranger.
Well, that's great.
But yes, I'll be sending you a copy. Really happy with it. There's
cool. It's gonna go on. It's gonna go on. I don't know whether you can see it. Here we go. There's a little record player there.
Oh, nice, man.
Yeah, see, just a little record player. That's straight on there. It will go.
Brilliant. Yep. I'll post it later this week. Yeah, I'm going to send a bunch more out. The artwork's awesome. Had a bunch of great collaborators on that, as I did on the Sonic side. there are some exclusive, hitherto unseen Derek Jarman images in the inner sleeve,
Wow.
which James Mackay, Derek's producer, who's a very good friend of mine, very kindly gave me permission to use. And they were stills that James took on the location shoot of The Angelic Conversation in 1986. And they've never been seen
That's
before.
amazing.
So, yeah, really awesome. Real privilege. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow,
the miracle
wow,
of tangible
wow.
media. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's just so much better, isn't it? Really. I mean,
It really is.
we've had that conversation before. I mean, yeah, it's lovely to get it as a digital format, so you can just instantly pull it out. But
you're just not sure it exists, are you? You know, it's like
no, it might not even be a real album.
It's like space cars, you know. It's no, exactly, yeah. And the strange thing is, I've gone into this year thinking that I probably wouldn't release anything, and then I've got actually 3 vinyl releases coming up. One of which is out tomorrow, which is the new Academy of Sun release. So following
and
on,
I've heard it, and it's fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
It really is fantastic.
Thanks so much.
That first song. Now, listen, I wanted you to take me through the chorus.
Oh, what? Lie down, lay your lie down.
Yeah.
Well, it just gets higher and higher. It modulates constantly. The original idea for that song, because I sort of concentrated the writing intensity, the composition intensity that I might spread over 3 or 4 songs into a single song. It was going to be through composed initially, so there would be no repeating parts, and there aren't really that many repeating parts.
No.
But then I thought I'd be a little kinder on the band and myself. And so it's not entirely through composed, but the second section does modulate constantly. So each time
it does, doesn't
the
it?
main, and to the extent that I'm basically my sort of my testicles in a mole grip, you know, by the end, just
it's like that scene. I was imagining it was a bit like that. Yeah, that scene from Bohemian Rhapsody, the film, where someone's standing behind you, Nick,
going with a cattle prod, right?
Again, did you have like a Freddie Mercury there in front of you going, again, darling?
Yeah,
come
except
on.
it was me. I was also.
Except it was you.
Yeah. No, it's a hard one. I don't know if we'll ever be able to do it live. I mean, I'd like to. I'm really happy with it, and we asked Randall Dunn to mix it. Who's obviously done the Mandy soundtrack, engineered all the Sun records, and and a lot of the Danny Elfman stuff that's just come out. And I'm so glad we did. It was nice to invest a lot of resources into making it sound super, super world class and super glossy. And
well, it certainly does. It really
it's
is
huge,
great.
isn't it? Yeah,
it is. It's huge. No, I think it's great, and I think it will appeal to. I hate this word. I think it will appeal to a lot of people who are quite genre specific.
Yeah,
and you know what I mean, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that, and I like this, and I like that. But actually, it will appeal to a lot of people that like those different genres.
I think you're right. Yeah. It sort of ticks a lot of boxes in a particular remit, doesn't it? It's especially gothy, even for us. It's it's gothy, but it's proggy, but it's indie, and it's whatever that is. Yeah. All at the same time. That's really people are really sitting there chewing at the bit now, going, "God, I want to hear that." That's the intention, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's the best song I've ever heard. Yeah, it's so.
Me too. Yeah.
And now they're really going for it. I know. I really loved it. And tell me, so it's not overly environmentally friendly, is it, as a song? Because you keep changing your batteries.
Oh, the B-side.
Yeah. Or as a yeah.
That was a good radio presenter segue. I'm really impressed. Yeah, that was.
Thank you. So what are you changing your batteries in? A Ouija board? Is that right? Or
it's a satire on esotericism and the convictions that people commit into different systems of thought. It's remember there's the parts that he replaced on The Quiet Earth has the chorus that the belief sustains the object of belief.
Yeah.
So the parts that need replacing, which is this is kind of I must have written the lyrics to Ghost Foxes around the same time. But it's if you don't think my love is true, maybe magic doesn't believe in you, and if you feel you're being ignored, maybe change the batteries on your Ouija board. It's a really sardonic and
Yeah, I love
Drive
that. I
number.
love that line. That line, I just couldn't. After that, I couldn't get that line
Product
out of my
placement.
head. I just,
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
I was just
We're now
thinking-
sponsored by Coca-Cola. Sorry.
Well, that makes change. Well, look, with all of the footballers in the world not being sponsored by Coca-Cola now,
Yeah,
you know, and water, I think there's a gap in the market.
they're looking for deals. Yeah,
Yeah,
just got to send over our bank account details, and we should be able to retire fairly soon to Madeira. So yeah.
Well, that and maybe a battery manufacturer as well.
Yeah, exactly, for the Ouija boards that are running out of batteries. Yeah.
Well, you could just imagine. You could just next time you go to see Nick Hudson live, there will be on the merchandise stall,
dressed as the Duracell bunny.
there will be Duracell bunnies, but with I've got a Ouija board t-shirts on.
Holding gigantic cans of Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Don't give me ideas. I already brought a puppet onto your show. I don't need any more ideas.
I just think that would just be brilliant. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Well,
no, it's overall as a whole piece. The let's call it an EP because it's songs. Yeah, it's very infectious.
Thank
Very
you.
infectious.
Thanks so much. Yeah. It's strange. It never had a home on the Quiet Earth, the B-side, but we knew it was a good song and we always enjoyed playing it live. It was one of the first that we actually attempted to record, but as we progressed through the making of the Quiet Earth, which took about 3 decades, obviously we sharpened our methods, and so we were like, oh, this isn't actually strong enough to fit on the record. But we were like, let's take the chassis of it, and we all independently re-recorded our parts better. Excuse me. And my partner was actually in the room when I started recutting the vocals, and he was like, "I'm going to go. You're just shrieking." He's like, he's like, "I'll be in the pub."
That's nice for you, isn't it? I mean that's what partners do, though, isn't it? Right?
Oh, brutal honesty is is a strength, isn't it?
Yeah. I always find that refreshing. If you
same.
you go out to a gig and it's like, oh, Nick, it's really good tonight, and then you go home the next day, you get out the guitar, you sit down, you start playing, you start singing, and your partner's like, oh, look, I'm going out to the pub, right?
It's like, yeah.
It's just like that grounds you, doesn't it? Really?
Oh, it's really necessary. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But then so we re-recorded it and then mixed it with Paul Pascoe, who engineered the Quiet Earth, and had a great session. It was so nice to be back in the studio with him, and there we have it. Randall mastered both of them as well, to sort of unify them. I can't wait. It's out tomorrow. I'm really excited to hold a copy. It's going to be fun.
And it's you call it a lathe cut, do you? Or
yeah. The label is called Heaven's Lathe, which I love. Which I must check with Graham Duffel. I think it's a Coil reference. I'm fairly certain it is because they're the track Heaven's Blade. So yeah. Well, it looks lovely, and it's got nice little bit of. Let's just bring it up again for people to see. There we go. Hey, look at that. There's you in the middle. And is that a piece of your whose art is that on the? The 7-inch cover is a painting I did. Right,
cool.
I go through phases with painting where I'll sort of binge execute sort of like 10 or 20 pieces over the course of a week or two, and then stop for 6 months, and then the cycle
because you've run out of paint.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm waiting for the Coke sponsorship deal to kick in, so they're going to afford some more decent acrylics.
It's all got stuck in the Suez Canal somewhere. Nick's next container load of oil paint that's got stuck in the Suez Canal. Is that oil or is that acrylic? Is that oil or acrylic?
It's acrylic, yeah. I'm doing acrylic for oil, yeah. Although I'd like to try it, but yeah, I mean, I need an actual studio. I do everything in my one room at the moment. Hence, the room you're glimpsing now is my childhood bedroom, as I fled to the familial homestead in the middle of nowhere, and to get.
Yeah, that's a lovely instrument you have behind you there.
Ah, right, okay, yeah. The framing was deliberate. This is my 1873 harmonium.
Wow!
I saw it in some classified ads about 25 years ago. And the guy was like, "Oh, I'm getting rid of this harmonium for 50 quid. You can use it as a bookcase." I was like, "It's not a bookcase. perfectly working instrument, you know. It's absolutely beautiful. 1873, ripped out of a church, apparently. I'll if you'd like.
Yeah.
It's an incredible thing. This
is a thing of beauty.
Like Tom Waits' Wet Dream, you know. It's at the keys stick, so you have the. Right?
That's awesome, isn't it?
It's incredible.
You could just sit and do that all day.
Yeah, well, I have been doing since I got
it. Yeah.
I've been sort of getting to know Barry the Badger and then playing the harmonium. It's a simple life in the country. It's.
But the thing is, in all seriousness, you can't replicate that electronically.
No, you can't. And they've tried. I mean, you obviously get electronic reed organs, what I used to call my fan-assisted organ when I had one. But the pedal action, everything creates a tremolo, and the crazy thing is, this was built before 440 hertz was agreed as concert standard A in terms of pitch. I think it's like A334 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was playing it the day when I arrived up here, and I was like, everything must tune to this. And then I started listening to Tom Waits' The Black Rider, and it's entirely in tune with Tom Waits' The Black Rider. I was like, of course it is. You know, yeah.
So yeah. Oh,
it's a beautiful
fantastic.
thing. I'm never going to get rid of it. You know, it's kind of irreplaceable. It's got such a strength of character and singularity of tone. You know,
you couldn't stick that on the home insurance. They wouldn't understand what it is.
It's heavier than my piano. It's heavier than any of the pianos I've ever owned.
Is it really?
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah.
No, that really is an absolute thing of beauty.
It's astonishing, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, I'll send you some photos by email, but all of the stops are absolutely beautiful. Obviously, I've just broken it.
It's delicate as well. Let's just put that out there. It's very, very delicate. Yeah.
It is. Yeah. I mean, when I first got it, I'd start pumping the paddles around there to sort of get the bellows flowing. All this dust came out. I was like, it's incredibly gothic. Yeah.
No, listen. I was going to throw an idea to you, open on air, which was that, and we did actually discuss it on Messenger before, which is that, you know, we really should do a listening party for your vinyl.
Yes, that's a great idea. Yeah,
I really do think we should do that. Yeah. What I'd love to do is to do it in a way though that, so that actually it's a very special thing for people to come to, right? So that only a certain amount of people can come to it.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
Which, so I have this thing called Remo. Did I tell you about this?
You mentioned it. Yeah,
I've mentioned
it. Yeah.
Okay, so this is like a special platform with tables online. So it's not like Zoom. It's exactly. It's not like Zoom where you just have like these boxes like people are looking at now, and there's just hundreds of them. And then when you get like 200 people in a room, it's like, oh my God, I've lost the will to live.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You go into a virtual room, and you sit down at a table with, say, 7 or 8 other people. Yeah. And then you can have someone up on stage, and those people can do a bit, but you can then go back to your table and just mingle, etc. as well. Great. So exactly. So the way I'm thinking we play this is that you and I go in and we play a track and everybody listens to it.
Yeah, great.
Etc. And then we just get people to reflect on the track.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Right.
What a lovely way to go about it.
Wouldn't it?
Right, and then sure, yeah.
Great. I'll set up a date for that. So listen, if you're watching this over the next week or so, and you'd like a ticket for Nick's listening party, you have to apply, right? And we have to decide that you're in.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. Well, there'll be a rigorous screening process, and
well, basically, you're rich and good looking. No,
exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
£750 a ticket, isn't it? It's
We could do that. I tell you what, we could even do that. We'll think about that.
Yeah.
And we might even donate the money to a charity, which might be something to do with badgers.
What do you think, Barry?
Barry, would you take the money, Barry? Yes, give me the money.
Absolutely. Are you all set? Another badger puns? Yes.
All set. All
Right,
set.
really? I know. Yes.
Great pun in the middle of the afternoon.
Thanks, man.
Oh dear, my dear.
No, that's great. Yeah. Really nice idea, because we didn't get to do a listening party for the Quiet Earth because of the pandemic, and I didn't get to do one on the day of release for this. So actually doing a virtual one in that format sounds really, really beautifully compensatory.
Yeah, I just think it'd be nice for. I think it'd be nice for to get a real group of fans together.
Yeah.
In a room, just to meet them, get some feedback about what they think about it, really, and
always fascinated by, of course, it's I mean, even if they don't like it, or especially if they don't like it, I'm fascinated as to why it's like.
You're allowed to dislike 2.5 minutes of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Beyond that, you really shouldn't be there.
No, exactly. Yeah, we'll turf you out. Yeah, it's like. Well, that's the bouncers, won't we, Graham?
Yeah, we'll have to have bouncers. Yeah, it's like
brilliant.
that's fine. That's fine. You're allowed to have an opinion. That 2.5 minutes, you would have produced it slightly differently. That's fine.
Yeah.
Beyond that, no.
Exactly.
And please don't come in here telling us that this isn't a Kylie Minogue album, because we know that.
Well, that's news to me, is it not?
Oh my goodness! Did I tell you, a friend of mine actually helped produce the last Kylie Minogue album.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I actually quite like her. I think she's pretty decent.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he's just finished this is big news. He's just finished the Diana Ross album.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Was he producing a new album? Right.
Yeah, he's co-written it as well.
Goodness me.
Yeah.
All right, that's interesting. Wow.
It is. Yeah. In other news, I'll introduce you to him sometime.
Yeah, do.
You never know.
He's allowed to the listening party. Yeah, he can be one of the bouncers.
Yeah. In other news, Nick Hudson is just supporting Diana Ross on her new top. What? How did we swing that?
He cleans for her.
Do you know any Supreme numbers? I mean,
yeah, of course I do.
Yeah,
I do the dance as well.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, absolutely. You can just imagine people turning up for a Diana Ross concert, and you doing support, and they're all like,
I could just do like, hang on a minute. I'm gonna tell you, like,
oh, here we go.
Baby, where did our love go? No, wrong chord. Anyway, you get the idea, but yeah. Really, you got like Nico covers the Supremes,
Oh, that would be great, wouldn't it?
Baby.
You'd have to have that kind of drum pattern going, just
really slow. Yeah,
really slow. Baby.
Where did our love
go?
So
I'm actually already into that.
It's not a bad idea, is it?
It's not. Like, it's actually.
We need to get Elon Musk on the blower and sort of propose this to him. I think he's got some spare capital for a Nico covers the Supremes record, don't you?
I think he has. You know what would happen to it though? Grimes would probably steal it.
Oh God,
and release it as her new album.
Yeah, she's not allowed to a listening party.
No, because she'd probably nick that.
She'd listening party.
Yeah, she's nicked the whole idea. She nicked the whole thing. Yeah. Dear,
dear, goodness me. So I have one more project. Obviously, I've always got one more project. I like the Columbo of projects. Yes, I can mention this. There's a bunch of us coming together to go and record at Prairie Sun Studios in Cotati in Northern California, which is the studio.
That sounds exciting.
It's the studio where Tom Waits made Bone Machine and Mule Variations. We all fell in love with the acoustic of those records.
Well,
and
we
realised...
have died screaming.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
don't you love that?
Yeah. So I've been in correspondence with the studio founder, Mark Muka-Rennick, over the last few weeks. And we're getting closer to confirming some dates in October to go and record. And it'll be a bunch of us from the UK, some friends of mine who I work with in the States, in Seattle and New York. We're all going to convene in LA for some rehearsals and then go up to Northern California and record there. And we're writing for the space.
Wow.
And when I was on the phone to the studio head, they were like, "Oh yeah, Tom's piano is still here. You can use that."
Now I was going. Do you know what? That was my next question.
Yeah.
I was going to say, is there Tom Waits or equipment that Tom Waits has used?
Yeah, there's an arsenal of his very strange instruments that have been just left there, and they were like, "Yeah."
And microphones that he's used.
Yeah. In fact, the producer Os Fritz is available and potentially interested in working with us as well. So it's yeah. So we're going to be working on raising finance.
That's a dream. That's a dream come true, isn't it? Really, that's a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Yeah.
You'll sit there and you'll sit there and channel your inner Tom Waits.
Or somebody else's.
I think.
Yeah, no, I'm really.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to buy a kind of Tom Waits style hat for the occasion.
This won't cut it, will I? Need a sort of grizzly, leathery pork pie hat, don't I, or something? It's,
yeah.
And
just grow a little bit there.
Well, the goatee. I can barely grow fingernails, let alone facial hair. So.
just buy a stick-on one.
What a sort of adhesive jazz goatee. Right?
And they all go, "Who have you come as?" And you go, "Tom Waits," and they go, "More like
Kenny G."
Yeah. Okay, and the hat and the goatee comes straight off, and it's like, oh, okay.
With the nose and like,
yeah, it's not what I was going for, but I'm disappointed now. I know that seriously is going to be great.
Yeah,
that
really
really
excited.
is.
Yeah.
Have you got an idea going into it what you're going to do, or you just?
I've started writing a ton of lyrics. I was in the Lake District with my parents, took a guitar with me, and started sort of hemorrhaging songs for the first time since I wrote the solo record. And my dear friend Oliver Hill, who's sort of the primary composer and guitarist in a band called Gravelines, so really, really great. He's been composing with me, and it's nice to co-write musically. It's not something I've done very often. I've sort of relinquished authorship, and it's awesome. And then Toby Driver from Coath is a brilliant composer and a very, very dear friend and collaborator, and Stuart Dahlquist, who actually was the original bassist in Sun, the Doom band, and Goatsnake and Burning Witch was his huge project back then. His band Asva are absolutely gorgeous, and I have the privilege of playing with them, and Stuart's going to get involved as well. So it's a big sort of like transatlantic. We're calling ourselves the Avant Wilburys. We're not really, but that's what it feels like. It's like, yeah. So
have you decided on a collective name, or do you get there, fight over that, decide you hate each other, and then come home again? No.
Steal the masters, bury them under the A3, and like, it's like there's a few. One positive title is The Crime Scene Cleaners, which I quite like, but we'll see. It's more about just getting the material together, and it
might come out of the material as well, mightn't it? The name might come out of that.
Yeah. It often does. We've had a few rehearsals with the Brighton-based contingent already, and it's sounding really strong and super, vampy and dynamic, and really excited. Yeah.
Wow.
So we'll see. Now, sorry, Graham, go on.
Sorry. So yeah, when when do you actually start that?
We'll head out. Well, we'll head over mid-October. Early October to LA. We'll rehearse there for a week, just to sort of refine and rarefy all the parts and the arrangements, and then we'll move up north to Sonoma County for 5 days in Prairie Sun, and then never do anything again, because we're not really sure how you can top that. So
no. Yeah. Well, now listen. Bit of advice is is go earlier.
Yeah.
Right. When you can, before someone changes the rules, because what travel's like at the moment.
Yeah.
Just get there when you can.
Yeah.
And, because it doesn't matter if you don't, as you say, if you don't come home again.
No, it's fine. I could happily just sort of live out my days in California, very, very happily.
Yeah. They'd have to ship that thing over to you somehow.
Harmonium. I think I'd be surprised if the Tom Waits studio doesn't have 3 billion harmoniums lying around, wouldn't you?
There's one there anyway. It's fine.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was quite funny because there was a wonderful woman called Liz who was the studio manager until recently, and my first conversation with Prairie Sun was with her, and I asked if the karaoke was still there. The sort of the terrorizingly cacophonous steam-powered circus organ that he used on Blood Money.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, but I mean, he only lives 15 minutes away. We could ask him to bring it. And I was like, what? I was
Yes, we could.
Okay.
Could we do that? Could we do that in the middle of the recording? And could he stay?
I can't really.
We'll get some biscuits. Could you find out what Tom's favourite biscuits are, please?
Yeah, so he can bring his dogs. It's fine. It's like, or his badgers. Yeah. It's like.
Do you think he has a hand puppet?
Yeah. What would it be of? What would Tom? Probably
a ferret.
Yeah, weasel or something. No, a gopher.
Weasel.
It would be a gopher, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Gopher. Yeah.
Yeah, or a raccoon. Probably a raccoon.
Raccoon. Yeah. No, you're right. A raccoon.
Yeah.
That would just make the whole trip, wouldn't it? If Tom Waits actually came along.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And even more when he says, "I'll play on that for you." Yeah. Okay. Come on. Look. Yeah. You're fine. You
so
just
while
come
you're
and,
here,
Yeah. While you're there, if you can just, if you could, but don't sit there, please, because that's my chair. But if you sit there.
I've had my shaman blessed. Don't disrupt the aura of the chair. Thank you.
But if you'd like to sit there, that would be great. And just offer up some backing vocals or something, whatever just comes. Just on this.
Just pan flute vibes.
Yeah. I almost, because he's he may go there afterwards as well. Back to that studio again. I think as a strong piece of advice as well is you should find and take an unusual instrument and leave it in the studio.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Which then could surface on a future release of his. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's sound strategy, Graham. Yeah.
Don't you think?
That's a really good idea.
Yeah. And just leave him a little note with it saying, you might like to try this.
Oops, I forgot it, but you can keep it, etc.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. Or like, this was precious to me. Make up a little story because that's even better. This was really precious to me, but I just feel it needs to stay here.
So, I think it's found its spiritual home. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was in Georgia, I saw in the Museum of Georgian Folk Instruments and Folk Music. The first exhibit was a 3,000-year-old swan's thigh bone flute, which was absolutely incredible.
What?
Yeah, absolutely bonkers. Yeah,
you do come across them, don't you? Yeah. I just think some kind of strange shaker thing, or something that makes some kind of strange sound, like that. Maybe a little percussion-y type instrument.
Like a sort of an embossed raccoon, sort of hollowed out and filled with sycamore seeds or something.
That you just go or something with, and and then next Tom Waits record, and you hear, and you go, yes, success,
exactly, yeah. I made this.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's there on the sleeve notes. Thanks to Nick Hudson for the
and the kind staff at Prairie Sun.
Yeah. Sorted. Dear. Oh no, that's great. So that's happening. The album is ready to go.
Yeah.
So all people need to do to get that is go to Bandcamp.
Yes, it's on the Bandcamp. Yeah. I will get
Yeah.
in some physical stockists as well, but Bandcamp for now. The 7-inch, have a look at my Twitter feed for that, because the label are being absolutely awesome, and their social media presence is really, really good. But I'm retweeting everything, and that's out tomorrow. It's limited.
And I'll do it again and again and again as well.
Thanks so much.
In fact, on your Twitter feed for the next week, that's all you'll see.
Awesome.
Here it is.
There's only 100 copies, so it's
Well, that will go then, won't it? In fact, probably by the time we finish this, it's already gone.
It goes on sale at 6 p.m. tomorrow, so we'll.
There you go.
Fingers on the buzzers, you know?
But you've got to think this stays around for 14 days, so I could safely say that. You see.
Yes, true. Yeah.
Because by the time somebody watches it, it's already gone.
Yes. You must send me the link as well when we get off the air, Graham, and I'll.
Oh, so that we can re-push this again, because people do want to watch this.
Absolutely.
Sort of thing.
No, it's great. I really appreciate it.
So,
Thank you so much.
Will there be more from Academy of the Sun as well then, if you're going off to do this other thing, or this is just going to drop in now? And
I think so. I mean, it's like the Terminator, that project. It just won't die, and there's always lineup changes, but I'm really happy with we'll have a great time playing together and creating music together. So, and rehearsals are immense fun. Half of us don't live in the same city anymore, but that's not an issue. So we'll see. I don't know.
You never know. What may happen is you disappear off to the States.
Yeah.
For some, reason, this EP that you've just put out just suddenly blows up massively, and it becomes almost cult-like. Yeah. And suddenly it's being played everywhere. You suddenly become this massive personality on tour, obviously with Diana Ross, and you just won't know where to go, will you?
Yeah.
That's an alternative universe, folks.
My head just exploded. Yeah, it's like with their me dressed as in full drag as Nico doing Diana Ross covers. With an embossed and hollowed out raccoon stuff with sycamore seeds. It's like
with Tom Waits in the background with
Elon Musk.
That would make the most surreal advent calendar ever.
Has anybody released an album on advent calendar where every time you open a window you get a different track?
Well, now, do you know what? I was having the same thought. Bizarrely, that would just be great, wouldn't it? Wow. Yeah, that hasn't happened yet.
What a great idea.
Next Christmas.
Ooh. Or
Nick.
Or another way to do it is you could have like all 24 windows could have different stems of a track inside, and when you open the window, it plays the stems, so you can actually live remix as you open the advent calendar windows. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, I will mention that to Shauna after we get off air.
Yeah.
Right? She could have a shameless advent calendar.
What a great idea. Yeah.
And you just
have a shameless Christmas.
Yeah, have a shameless Christmas. What a great title that would be.
This is great, isn't it?
Yeah. There you go, Shauna. Look at that. We've now covered your PR
We've got your back, Shauna,
for 3 months there. So you just
whether you like it or not.
Yeah. This is more exciting than when Squiggle did an advent calendar. Look, I mean,
impossible.
You open. It's not an eraser. It's not a pencil sharpener. It's a track from Shameless.
That's great. A really good idea.
It is a really good idea. I think you've really honed in on something there. I think that would be a wonderful thing to open it every day, get a little bit of music.
Yeah.
I don't know how physically you build it, or whether it's just a virtual advent calendar.
I mean, it might be a virtual one, mightn't it?
Yeah, I think you could really easily build a website that's just a virtual advent calendar. Each day you open the door and there's a tune. That'd be great.
Yeah, what a great idea. Yeah.
There there you go, Shauna. That we've come up with what's going to happen this Christmas. In fact, I did say to Shauna as well, we will do probably for all the shameless artists who have been great on this show over the year, a Christmas party in Remo.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, let's do
just
it.
get artists from all over the world all together in one room.
Yeah.
You know, and that will be brilliant. It will be like Jules Holland's Hogmanay,
except with more necks. Right. Yeah.
Except with having to pay less to the artist.
We're not allowing Grimes in, are we? Because she'll nick all the buffet. She'll be making off with all the Bollinger, and
well, her children will.
Yes. Yeah.
Whatever they're called. I can't. Well, put it this way, it's one of those things where it doesn't matter if you can remember the names of Elon Musk's and Grimes' children, because nor can they.
Oh dear. Aren't they all called Barry the Badger anyway? I think they are. Right?
Something like that.
Barry the Badger Musk.
No, I'm sure they can, but there was that incident where the press relayed that they couldn't remember their names.
Wow.
Or they fought over the names because they're quite complicated. There you go. Just stick to giving people sensible names like Nick.
Yeah,
you know,
and Barry.
I mean, Barry. You know, because that's it. Listen, Nick, it's been beautiful as ever catching up with you. So I'm excited for all of those projects.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, thank you so much. It's so good to chat with you, Ken Graham. Yeah, and Advent calendar, embossed hollowed out raccoons, and Christmas party.
Yeah, Do remember. Yeah, you've got to remember to leave something in that studio, because that's it's going to happen. And I really do hope Mr. Waits himself does actually turn up.
It sounds like it's not entirely outside of the realms of possibility. We'll see. I'm not going to rely upon it, but it's If
it happens, get a photo somehow.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Excuse me, selfie. No.
I can't think of anybody less selfie stick than Tom Waits, can you?
Yeah, I think you just have to find a really subtle way of doing that, and it's got to be in black and white as well.
You just need to exhume Edward Hopper and he can paint us. I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah. Oh no, that's a really good way to do it. Is actually get a painting.
Yeah,
because I think Tom would probably appreciate that far more.
Yeah, exactly.
The intrinsic value of paint on canvas as opposed to
tangible media, which is how we started the conversation, isn't it? So
everything goes round.
Beautiful.
in a beautiful round 360 diadem of loveliness. Oh, mate, it's been lovely speaking to you again. Have a great rest of the week. Have a good weekend. Avoid the football, and or there's something like that on telly anyway.
Somebody wants to say bye as well. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There we are. Yeah.
Mate. Now, have a good trip to America, won't you, Barry?
He will. Yeah. He's looking forward to meeting his cousin, who's a raccoon from Seattle. So yeah. Anyway, bye, Barry. See you soon.
Bye, Barry. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it's been another My Music, and we hope to see you soon. Bye for now.
Thank you so much. You take care, Graham. Thanks for everything.
Bye.